Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be going through all the build options for the KASRKIN kill team from the Shadowvaults box set. I'll go through the KASRKIN kill team rules from the Shadowvaults book so you can have a good look at the different options for your operatives, and then we'll go through the build guide as well, just so you can see exactly which models you can build in the different poses, but also which models you can't build. Once we've done that, I'll then go through all the models I put together and talk about the reasons why I chose the different ones that I did and how they'll fit in and operate within my kill team as they prepare to do battle against the Necrons. And if you'd like to see how to build the Necrons from this set, that video is also up on the channel. Before we dive into the books, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Firestorm Games for supporting the channel and helping me to keep going with these daily videos. Really appreciate their support. I'll put a link in the description down below where you can save up to 20% on all your hobby products, and it'd be awesome if you could check them out. Right, let's get started. So here's the Shadowvaults book first, and a great opening with that logo on the front. And as we go to page 11, that's where the information for the KASRKIN will begin. Now this is going to give you some nice background, lore, and describe how and why the KASRKIN kill teams fit in with kill team. So some really nice reading here. It talks through the different operatives as well. So I really like that. And so this is a really nice section to have a read of before you do anything else. And then have a look at the models, see which ones stand out to you. The rule of cool is always important, so really have a look at that. Then you've got your names and demeanours, all the different tables to give you a flavour of their background, squad quirks, things like that. So that's going to take you up to page 22, and then it starts the Necrons. So we want to head over to then page 35, and this is the most important part of the book. This is going to tell us the different operatives and how many we can choose, any special rules when choosing the ones to put in our kill team as well. But right away, the first choice is very easy. We've got the KASRKIN Sergeant. Now he can be equipped with one of the following options: Bolt Pistol and Power Weapon, Hot Shot Las Gun and Gun Butt, Hot Shot Las Pistol with Power Weapon, or Plasma Pistol and Chainsword. You know you're going to have a Sergeant, so just choose one of those weapon options. Then you can pick 9 KASRKIN operatives selected from this following list. Now altogether there's 11 here, so right away we're going to have to lose potentially 2 different operative types. So this is going to be a big decision making process now as we look through the rest of the book. There's some special rules that go along with choosing our operatives. And it says here that other than KASRKIN Trooper operatives, you can only include each operative above once. And your kill team can include no more than 4 gunners and sharpshooter operatives combined. And that's a shame because these are potentially some of the best ones. But I know I definitely want a sharpshooter. So that leaves me with only 3 gunner options if I want to only use the models in this kit. So now that leaves 10 more operatives but only 8 slots available. So 2 operatives are going to be lost here. So it's just deciding which ones. I think the gunners are pretty cool. I would pick those and then see what's left after that. But it's really up to you the way you go about it. Also, have a look before you move on to the data cards at the TAC Ops and have a look at the abilities, because this is going to give you an idea of how these might play, and then the strategic ploys and tactical ploys will give you an idea as well. And also you might be thinking at this time how you could layer up the different operatives to have some in-game tactics. So that might influence your decision when you start building as well. But once you've looked through all of those rules, then it's time to focus on those data cards and have a look at the individual special rules, unique actions and abilities. Starting with the Sergeant, again this is the easy one. You know you're going to have a Sergeant, so it's just choosing the weapon combinations. Personally, I like the Plasma Pistol and Chainsword combo. I think that's pretty powerful. It fits in with the idea that these are special forces, so he's going to have some pretty decent weapons there in the form of the Plasma Pistol. But then if he gets up close, he could do some damage with that Chainsword as well. I do like the Power Weapon, Lethal 5+, but I like the combo of Plasma and Chainsword. Now looking through the rest of the data cards, really spend time looking at those abilities and unique actions because they can make or break the operatives, and then decide whether or not you like the sound of them, whether you would involve them in your play style, your tactics. Do you like the idea of how they're going to affect the game and how they're going to affect other troopers as well, because there's a lot of like things and combinations you can do with different ones. The medic's going to play an important role. You've got recon trooper can do some special unique actions as well. So yeah, have a really good read through these, spend a lot of time on that, and then the rest of the rules for the KASRKIN are going to focus more on the campaign play, so you don't have to worry about that at this stage. Now you've read through the Shadowvaults book, you should have a good idea of the operatives that you want to start building. So let's grab the build guide, and then there's quite a lot devoted to the KASRKIN in this book. Most of it is for them, and you can see you've got a few pages for the Necrons, but most of it is KASRKIN. You've got a nice paint guide there to have a look at, and you can also see the models put together for a number of the operatives. So that's really good, a nice little reference there. At the front, you've got this section which tells you which special weapon goes with the arm and backpack. And so this is going to be handy later on as we work through the book. It also shows you to look out for the different options for each operative. Each option is going to look like this, and we've got the KASRKIN Sergeant. You can build him in 4 different ways, or as a KASRKIN Gunner. So you've got 5 different ways to put this particular combination of parts together. That's the one I chose, the chainsword and plasma pistol. I like the pose, looks awesome. So yeah, I was really happy with that choice. And as you go down, you can see it just lays out how to do the different combinations, and then finally the gunner at the bottom. One thing I noticed is that almost all, and if not all, of the different operative builds give you an option for a gunner. And so with so many different gunners in there, you know, you're going to get lots of different poses depending on which weapon you want to give them. I knew I wanted that sharpshooter, so I built that. I also wanted the demo guy, so I knew I was going to build that. So they're the first ones I built. Sergeant, sharpshooter, demo, then I moved on to comms. I also built the medic, and then I started whittling it down until I got to the decisions I had to make for the different gunners. Once you've built your favourite models, you're going to be left with some that maybe don't match up with the weapons if you want to go for a range of the special weapons. But don't worry, because as you can see here, all the special weapons are in orange, and that refers us back to that page at the beginning, and these different combinations of arms and backpacks will fit on most of the poses. So whichever poses you're left with, you're going to be able to just simply put those special weapons onto the pose. So that's great. That means whatever you do choose, you're going to be able to build it on the body. It's not like with Krieg, where you were limited with a couple had to be done in a certain way or kit bashed. In this case, those arms really do fit on the models nice and easily. And then as you go through, starting with your favourite gunners, working your way down, then you're going to be left with the 2 that you can't build. So you're not going to be able to build 2 operatives. And again, look at this section here. There's 12 altogether. You can only build 10, so 2 are going to be missing. But there's no reason why you can't have a Vox Trooper, for example, and proxy that as a KASRKIN Trooper. So that'll work, no problem. And then for me, it was easy with the gunners. I didn't want the Flamer this time. I just figured I've got so many Flamers in the different guard combination of kill teams, so I thought I don't really want the Flamer, it's not that great, so it was easy to leave that one and the Trooper out. Now we've gone through the books, I'll grab my models and I'll start talking through the reasons why I chose each one. Here's my first one, the KASRKIN Sergeant. Again, I like the pose, that plasma pistol's awesome, chainsword looks pretty mean, and he looks really robust carrying that around, so I like that idea. I've gone for the face where you can see his face without it being covered up with the goggles this time, and I thought that suited him in that leadership role. Let's get a bit closer so you can have a look at the face. Such great models, really happy with them. I think they're really well done, so yeah, can't wait to get them painted. Next was the KASRKIN Sharpshooter. He has got some sharp suits there though, so he's looking good, and what a great looking model. This time I went for the face where he's got the visor goggles down, so that's covering his face. He's got a different backpack to the rest, because I imagine he's out ahead of them, maybe doing some recon, and so yeah, he's got that roll mat there, maybe a camouflage net of some kind. Then I built the KASRKIN Demo Trooper. Nice looking model, very similar to the one we saw in the Into the Dark box set. So yeah, he's looking pretty good, and he can leave that mine, which I really like. So that was the rule that I liked, probably more than the model, but the model's pretty good too. I like the Vox Trooper, he looked pretty good, and then it's like a command squad almost. It's good to have that trooper in. You want good comms when you're in a team out in the field, isolated perhaps as these are, so comms are going to play a big part, maybe calling in airstrikes, that kind of thing. So that was important to have him in the kill team. I also like the Recon Trooper, the idea of him being ahead and then gathering that recon so that they can pull off the missions. I like that. Great looking model. And again, you could use this as a regular trooper as well. No reason why you couldn't proxy it if you wanted to. Then there's the KASRKIN Combat Medic. I'm not really a big fan of medics, to be fair, in Kill Team, but got to build him, and he looks like a trooper as well, so it'd be very easy. I've left his visor off, so he's got the face exposed just to make him a little bit different, and it'll help him fit in that mini command squad idea that I'm thinking of. Then it's time for the KASRKIN gunners. Now, I've built 4 KASRKIN gunners. I went for this one first, the melter gun. Really wanted this one. You can see he's leaning down as if there's an injured enemy on the floor and he's just about to wipe them out. So I really like that pose. Then I went for the grenade launcher. I like these in my Astra Militarum army, so I wanted to include one in this set, and he just looks really robust, and he's going to do some serious damage, hopefully. Then we've got the plasma. Great model. Got to have this plasma in there, given the choice. So yeah, definitely above the flamer, all of those. And then there's this one, the hot shot volley gun. So I like the sound of this. P1 fusillade, 5 shots. It's going to do a little bit of damage. Not brilliant, but I think I just like the pose really. And it looks very similar to the regular hot shot las gun. So I think I'll definitely be proxying him as a regular trooper and swapping them about. So there we go. There's my 4 heavy gunners all ready for battle. I've got my set here, the little command squad led by the sergeant, and then I've got my recon team here laying mines ahead of time and gathering data on the enemy. So altogether, a fun looking kill team. Really enjoyed putting them together and choosing the different operatives, and I hope this video helped you to decide which ones you could build and giving you a little idea into what's included in Shadowvaults. And if you were lucky enough to get a copy, I hope it helps you to get your preparation done before you start putting your kill team together. One thing that surprised me about this Shadowvaults box set is that I really like the Necrons. I really want to play them now, more so than I do the KASRKINs, and I never expected that. So you just never know until you get these models, get them built and have a look at the rules, just what to expect. But if you're interested in the Necrons, then you can check out my how to build video for those. That's up on the channel already, and I'll soon be doing a deep dive for each of the 2 kill teams so we can really dive in and look at those rules in detail. Until then though, thanks so much for watching. Hope the video was helpful, hope you liked it, and if you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and don't forget to hit that notification bell too to join me here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.